Well, you may see in your experience that the random tends to be chaotic. Chipping away of different influences at random tends to destroy, pull apart. Whereas to construct things, you have to have purpose and therefore mind, even sort of in some sense vision of where you might go and succeed. And where you actually end up going is not quite like that, of course, because you modify your goals as you go along, according to achievements and difficulties that you encounter. So when you look at something incredibly wonderful and complex, like the universe, the planets, say, or everything, human body, the genetic makeup, it's all fantastic. It's absurdly fantastic when you say, well, things seem to be transitory and therefore all of this presumably didn't exist at some time. And even if it did exist, always, well, how could that be? Where's the why and the wherefore? One needs an infinite amount of time to, perhaps that's it. Perhaps time is infinite, and therefore even the random can produce life and the universe and genetic complexity, given infinite time. But one tends to think, from one's observation, that the normal curve is centered more or less over the side of degeneration and destruction, the outcome of random influences, not construction. There's a sort of expectation in the mind that you can't get something from nothing. You can reassemble something that exists, but you can't explain why it exists simply by looking at its elementary parts. And the more you look at it, of course, the more we can't find the elementary parts. We're down to atomic subparticles now, aren't we? And some of those are pretty elusive. Some are so transitory we think could only have existed for less than an instant of time at the beginning of creation, the start of things. We can't call it creation because that would presuppose something outside of it. And you just think, this is an intractable, secular, say, yes. The religious say, well, that's not a satisfactory working hypothesis. this universe is wonderful. I'm going to assume it says something about fundamental eternalness of loveliness for it to exist in this lovely form. Else how can you explain it? You can't. So I'm going to trust in benevolence and goodness and God. And the secular respond with, what do you want to do that for? And the reply from the godly is, well, seems to work better than your assumption of having no meaning to life, which is how I see your view. It seems terribly unsatisfactory to me. Choose you this day what you will follow, whom you will love, whom you will serve, whatever is your drift on the matter. But do consider the alternative. Of course, you can't say that to the religious because that's endangering their security. And they just say, oh no, that's not the road to go down. I'll be as unhappy and miserable as you are, and frightened of death and the future and old age and so on. My way is much happier. If you want life abundant, you should come my way. How are you getting on? Things are fine, thank you. Oh, okay, yeah, right. Well, call me if you get down there, will you? Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. But life takes its toll. How many escape illness, old age and death? Not many. Well, some think not any. That's an horrific thing to have to face. In other words, you find when you're here long enough in this mix of good and evil, should I say good and bad, that you long for the wonderful. God, my soul longs for you. My soul longs for you. Nothing else will do. Nothing else will do. My soul longs for you. Wow. Welcome to the kingdom of heaven. How do you mean? Well, you're valuing what constitutes your God. That's what you value, whether it's a reality in some objective sense or not. It's what you long for. It's who you've become. You value the good and want to reject the bad with all your mind and being. You're fearful of it. Ancient Hebrew seems to think that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Sounds a tough way to come. I think I prefer Jesus' approach, which is accept you receive the kingdom of heaven as a little child. Does he mean in your childhood, or in some sense in that type of purity, even though you're a very experienced adult? I've been worldly wise for some time, and it's not good, this world. I value something other than this. Not a mixture of good and bad. The bad is extremely troublesome, and the good can be very thin. Do you see? I'd rather love thee, O God. I've a neater, sweeter maiden in a cleaner, greener land on the road to Mandalay. Though I walks with 50 housemaids out of Chelsea to the Strand, and they talks a lot of loving, what do they understand? Beefy face and grubby hand, Lord, what do they understand? I've a neater, sweeter maiden in a cleaner, greener land on the road to Mandalay. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. My soul longs for you, my soul longs for you. Nothing else will do. My soul longs for you. I choose what I believe in, and now it's because I find, because doing such is so beneficial. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.